Hello, this is Nancy Johnson, and I hope you can hear me. I am recording this live tonight, and just want to say welcome to Sunday's Best. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope you're getting ready for the holidays. But if you also are planning to buy a home next year, I want to give you some valuable information tonight. Information that will help you either get your home on your bucket list or on your vision board or make it a part of your goal. Either way, I want you to be very successful when you do purchase a home. So we're going to start off tonight with first things first. I'm going to introduce you, and to those of you who are on for the first time tonight, I just want to share with you a little bit of about who I am and what I do. Of course, I'm Nancy Johnson, and I've been in real estate now more than 34 years. I have been a part of more than 2,300 transactions, and this is my second career. My first career was in insurance for 19 years. So with that, I'm just going to share with you that I've been working with people for a very long time, and I've learned one thing for sure. The more people you help, the more you get helped in the process. So when you find a way to serve people, and if you're delivering that service from a place of passion, you can help a lot of people. And that makes me very happy to be able to help people. I really don't look at real estate as a sales job because I don't have to sell people on buying a home. I just have to assist them with service and with information and positioning so that they can buy. So, with that being said, if you are a first-time home buyer, this information is going to be very, very, very important to you. And I know that you're not going to be able to write as fast as I'm going to talk to deliver this in 30, no more than 40 minutes. But it's information that you really need to have so that you don't go out and make it more difficult than it already is. Because a home buying process is different for each individual. And what I try to do is to meet you where you are. So that means some of you will need more help than others. Some of you will need to be patient. Some of you will be ready to hit the ground running. Others will have to position themselves. And it may take 6 months. It may take a year. It may take 2 years. But with this information that I'm going to share with you shortly, it will position you for home ownership. And then we're going to end with the 12 keys from the Key Club and how the Key Club can position you and keep you encouraged and inspired and give you hope all along the way, no matter where you are. Because there are millions of people who want to own, but credit is the big issue. But delay does not mean denial. So I want you to grab a pen and pencil, a pen and paper, but also you can go to my website, Nancy Opens Doors, after this segment, and you can download the GPS for home buying and also the 12 steps to the Key Club. So the first part of the process, home buying process, is number one, find a realtor that you can trust. Find a realtor that you can trust, not someone that is in it just for the money. Of course, yeah, but did you know that to hire the best of the best real estate agent to represent you as your buyer's agent does not cost you one penny? No, it's free. So if you can get the best person to guide you through the process and you don't have to pay them, they get paid by the seller or by the builder. Why would you go into a situation unarmed with the best information? You wouldn't want to do that. This is one of the largest, one of the biggest, most expensive investment you will probably make in a lifetime. So, with that being said, on Sandra, and I hope others are on. I had a little bit of difficulty getting on because it was only sharing it with a certain audience, but I want it to be public so that everybody can get this information. So you need to, you don't want the blind leading the blind. Somebody that has not bought a home can have a real estate license, but they don't have, and they may have some experience from selling to someone else. But if they are not a homeowner, they can only tell you what the book says about homeownership, the benefits of homeownership. And so, again, get the very best because you don't have to pay for it. If you get the very best, if you don't, in a long run, because you don't want to end up on a dead end street paying for 30 years for something that you really didn't intend to buy and someone rushed you into the process. Hello, Laurie. Laurie, I think we've worked together on 2 or 3 transactions. So Laurie is an experienced homeowner. And after you interview your realtor, and there's certain things that you need to ask, and I can't cover all of it tonight, but for sure, you want to make sure that your realtor is, number one, credible, full of integrity, has a passion for helping people, and that they will listen to what it is you want, which leads me into point number 2. Analyzing your needs is the second. So when people call me and they ask, can you meet me at this property? My answer is no. We need to sit down and have a conversation. We need to do first things first. So we will sit down and I will ask you, I will interview you, ask you a short list of questions. When does your lease expire? Are you renting? Will you be a first-time home buyer? Where is it that you would like to live? What area of town? What are you looking for in a home? Kind of make me your dream list, okay? Are you trying to keep your children in a certain school district? If you're working and you're not working from home, how far away from home do you want to work? Then that gives me an idea of what you're looking for. It also, and also in this consultation, whether you're looking for 1-story, 2-story, based on your age, whether this is your forever home, just a series of questions. But one of the most important question is, we want to talk about your budget, what you feel comfortable with in a mortgage payment. So that leads into point number 3. Point number 3 is getting you pre-qualified. Now, there's a difference between pre-qualification and approval, okay? And I won't go so deeply into that, but we won't go to take a look at any homes until I know, number 1, what you're qualified to buy, how much of that you really want to spend, because you may be qualified for a $300,000 home. But if you tell me I'm paying $700 for rent and I don't want my mortgage payment to be any more than $700, well, we're not going to look at $300,000 homes unless you got a whole lot of money you want to put down. All right. So that's point number 3. Point number 4, selection of properties. I am your realtor. I am your negotiator. I'm not buying a home to live there. I don't have to drive up to it 10, 15, 20, 30 years and regret the purchase. You are the buyer. You are in the driver's seat. Once we get you approved and we start selecting properties, it doesn't matter whether I like it or not. It's whether you love it enough to make that commitment to pay that mortgage every single month without fail. Okay? And as they say, buy something that you're comfortable with so that you can still do some of the other things that will keep balance in your life, and you won't be house poor. All right? So when we go out to take a look at properties, I have to keep in mind not what I want to show you. You have described as what you're looking for. Some of the things on your, and I just want to tell you right now, you will not find any property hard. Well, I won't say any. It is rare that my clients find a property that is 100% of what they want. Even when they build it, they're wanting to know, could we have this room a little bit larger? Could I have had my pantry a little bit larger? I could have done without the living room if the family room was larger, or I don't have enough wall space. Out to take a look at homes, you're not going to hurt my feeling if you say, I don't like this, you know? But we can have that conversation, leave out of the home, and I'll tell you why that is the case as well. Hello, Tiffany McFadden. Thank you for jumping on. So when we go into a property, I'm probably, after we meet the first time, it's a consultation. We won't go out and take a look at properties. And we won't go out and take a look at properties until you have a pre-approval letter, okay? Pre-qualified. And the major difference I'll tell you between the two is if you call the lender and you say, my name is, my social is, my income is, and I've worked at this place for 10 years, they're going to take that information and they're going to pre-qualify you. Now, they will pull your credit, which is a vital part of pre-qualification. They won't send out letters necessarily to your landlord until they get ready to do the approval part of it. So pre-approval is based on what information that you give. Now, if that information is conflicting, once they send to your employer, once they send to your landlord, once they two bank statements, 2 of your last pay stub, if something does not add up, then that pre-approval is going to be questioned before they give you a full approval. And what's going to give you a full approval is when that credit score is correct, and we're going to talk about that, when it's workable, and when that employer sends back and says, you're good to go as far as future employment, that you're not subject to a layoff. Lender in your first interview that you make XYZ, but that includes overtime that you make. And they're not going to count that dollar for dollar, okay? If you are self-employed, and where we find this to be a problem most is when we're working with truck drivers, hairstylists, and real estate agents. You know, when you go to your accountant or your CPA, you want to take all the write-offs, okay? But when you're buying, at your buying power, and they have to look at, you know, what you have coming in and what you have going out. So that's a whole nother thing. So if they get a copy of your tax return back and it shows that you have rental property and you're trying to buy your primary residence and you're trying to get down payment assistance, there may be that. Or if you said, I make $100,000 and on paper, you really only make 20,000 because you took 80,000 in write-offs, that's going to tell a different story. And that story is going to have a different ending. So pre-qualification is what you tell them. When you're approved, it's what you show them, and they have to add up. The next point is when we go out to take a look at properties, again, I'm not going to push you to the max of your buying power. I'm going to listen very carefully to how much you want to pay per month. Then I'm going to call the lender and say, although Sandra is qualified to buy a $300,000 home, she feels real comfortable around $1,000 a month total payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So then he's going to say, well, Sandra needs to stay around 150, or she needs to stay around, 175 or whatever. And so then that's what we're going to do. And it's a seller's market right now. And there's just so much I can tell you in 30, 40 minutes. But when it's a seller's market, it's a hot demand. And you may not be able to negotiate as much as you would have if it was a buyer's market. So once you get that pre-approval, we need to set up an appointment, take a look at 4 to 5 homes. And then if you say to me, I like number 1, I like number 3, 4, not so sure about 2 and 5. Then our next appointment, it's my job as the trusted authority and as your advisor, as your negotiator, because I can't be all things to you. I'm not your attorney. I'm your real estate agent. I'm not your CPA. I'm your real estate agent, your trusted advisor. I will say to you, okay, I'm going to look for 3 more properties that closely resemble or have the same neighborhoods or similar neighborhoods within the same price point, and we're going to go out again. And that next time, if I've listened to you as your trusted authority, we should have 1 or 2 homes that we're ready to make a decision on. Okay, and if not, then we're going to sit down and we're going to regroup because maybe I didn't hear, or maybe you're saying something body language wise. When you get into the home, you're like, oh, I don't know about this, and my furniture won't fit there. And because it's not your job to know the difference between 1,700 square feet and 2,300 square feet. So once you squirming or saying my bedroom set won't fit in here, or I have a lot of family, and when we get together, we're going to need more space than this. So it's just things like that we will have a talk about or keep our conversation open about. And a question is on here: how many years of tax returns for self-employment? I'm glad you asked that question. Everybody has to show 2 years. And with self-employed, they are more than likely going to ask for 3 years, and they're going to average some things on there. So that is the next thing. We're going to view properties. Then, as part of the Key Club, which I'll go over those 12 things, you will have the opportunity with me as your realtor or working with the Nancy Johnson Group. You will have the opportunity to look at a blank contract, which is drawn up by an attorney. And for the most part, no matter what realtor you choose, they're going to be using that same generic contract. And because that contract has a lot to it, it's 8 pages. I want you to take a look at it, and we'll be filling in the blanks on it so you can be very comfortable with it. Because the last thing I want you to do is to get into something that you don't understand. Okay? That's why you find a realtor that you can trust and somebody that's passionate and patient with you as well. Okay. Let's see. When we write an offer, we call it a contract, but it's an offer until all parties agree. It may go back and forth. When it goes back and forth, we call that counter. We're negotiating back and forth. Once the terms are agreed upon and accepted by the buyer and the seller, then we have what we call a ratified contract. And that's when that contract goes to the lender, and the lender begins to do certain things on it. Now, so once we find the property, let me back up. Once we're pre-qualified, once I preview properties, once I show you properties, once you're ready to write and make an offer on a property, you will need what is called earnest money. Yes, earnest money. So even if you're a veteran and you are your first time home buyer and there's no down payment required, you are still going to be asked for some earnest money. That's something to show, something of value, to show your interest. And since we're so close to Christmas and people lay away, your earnest money is kind of like a layaway on the house, okay? So no one else can get it. They may have a backup offer, but once you have a primary offer on a home, once you put your earnest money down and your contract states that you are getting a loan and it has a close date on there, the seller cannot or should not, I can't tell people what they can't do because people can do things that are unethical, but the average seller is not going to write two contracts or accept two contracts on the same property. So you kind of put down deposit saying, I'm going to come back and get this house. Gives me the rest of the money. All right. And so during this time, what happens is once that contract is ratified, we have to get inspections. And when you go to my website and you order the GPS, it's going to give you an idea of how much a home inspection costs, a heating and air letter, a termite letter. All of these are things that, in addition to that earnest money, that you will have to have some funds for. Okay? So what else will happen is they will send verification out to your employer to make sure you work there, to make sure that you are still working there, and they will ask you for those two recent bank statements and rental reference, and also your all of your information, your tax return, they will need at that time. They will pull a credit report to get you pre-qualified, but your credit can be pulled up to the day you close. So don't screw up. Once you get that credit, that pre-qualification letter, there are going to be some tips that I'm going to give you in the next 5 minutes that I will tell you you need to abide by. And I'm going to call them the 10 commandments of do's and don'ts when you're buying a home. Remember, I've been involved in more than 300 transactions over my 34 years here in South Carolina. And I actually got licensed in 1978 in New Haven, Connecticut, and sold a few properties there as well. So you're going to have to pay some money out of pocket for your earnest money, your home inspections, your heating and air, termite, and your appraisal. Now, while all this is going on, it's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks. So if we found a house today, we probably would not close until the end of January. Okay? And if you closed in January, your first payment would be due in March. And while you're part of the Key Club, I'll go more into detail. And I guess you might be saying that Key Club sounds like it's a wealth of knowledge. And guess what? It's free. All right? It's free. So Let's talk about the people that partner with us. I'm the real estate agent, and I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm not going to try to be the home inspector. I'm not going to be the termite inspector. Not the heating and air. It may be hot or cold when we go in there, but I'm not going to guarantee you anything because I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm not the loan officer, so I can't guarantee you that you're going to be approved if you go and do some stuff that you're not supposed to do. As far as this list here, your home buying team, there's a difference between an appraiser and a home inspector. An appraiser actually has to be assigned by your bank, and they're looking out for the interests of the lender so that if you don't pay, you won't stay. They are wanting to make sure that if that home gets foreclosed on, that the value is there. So the appraiser looks for value. On the other hand, a home inspector looks for deficiencies, or they look to see what is satisfactory or unsatisfactory when it comes to the components of the home. So they will go underneath the house. They will go in the attic. All right. And so I'm going to allow them to do what they do. And I'm just going to be your professional, trusted authority and do the other things that I should be doing. Now, if you have questions, go ahead and post your the 10 do's and don'ts when you're buying a home during the mortgage process. Don't apply. What credit score are we looking for? There are some lenders or some work with you with a 585 credit score, considering other things. That's not for everybody, okay? And you need to make sure that you're paying all your bills on time. It is going to be critical that you have not missed any payments in the past 12 months. Collections, bankruptcies, foreclosures, repossessions, all those things will be looked at. But you know what? It is now much better than it was before, because if you had a bankruptcy, if you had a short sale, if you had a foreclosure, you almost had to wait 10 years. Now, within reason, after 2 years, and you have had your act together and paid your bills on time and everything for 2 years, there are some exceptions, okay? And I can't go into all the details right now. So, number 2, do keep all existing credit and credit cards open. Don't start closing accounts, okay? Some of you will need credit restoration assistance. Other people will just need to follow the advice of the lender, all right? So, this is not one size fit all. So I don't want anybody to be misinformed or to leave thinking that if she did it or if he did it, was this, that, or the other, then I should be able to do it. Most lenders are looking for a 620 or higher credit score. If you've got a 640, you can get down payment assistance from state housing. And of course, like some people who have a 700, 800, 850 credit score, that will improve your chances for getting a lower interest rate. But let me remind you, if you've got a 640 and you can get a down payment assistance of $6,000 and in some cases $15,000, and you can get that with 3%, and you said, no, I want to keep on renting at $900 a month until my score gets to a 700 so that I can get a 2.75, you're racing against the clock, and guess what? You're going to come in last, because the differential between paying $900 a month for another year And the difference between a 2.75 interest rate at a 640 credit score and a 3% or vice, if your score is a 700 and you're going to get a 2.75 versus a 3%, it doesn't add up. Do the math or have somebody help you with the math. So you want to think on your feet and don't. Number 3, don't max out or overcharge existing credit cards while you're in the process. If you want to know what you need to do, I can help you with that, and your lender can help you with that, and restoration with that. And one thing on this credit restoration, a lot of people, there's a company out right now, and they have their name of the credit restoration, and then it ends with law. So people think that that particular company is a lawyer that's helping them with their credit, and that is not the case. So when you go and you start paying for credit restoration, know even what your score is, and then you start paying, and you come to me and you start working with the company. I said, okay, how much progress are you making? And if you can't tell me your starting point and where you are now, no doubt you're not getting all the information that you need to get in order to position your keys. All right. So remember, these are do's and don'ts. Number 4, do maintain your employment at your current job. Don't start job hopping. If you get, or if you decide, you know what, I can't handle this anymore, talk to your lender first. And I'm if you call me, I'm gonna tell you to call the lender. Because if you say, you know what, Nancy, I went to one of your boot camps and I'm quitting that job. I'm working from home. I want to make more money. I'm quitting that job and I'm going into real estate. That is a conversation that you have to have with your lender, because you're moving from a not even a secure job, but you're moving from your earnings and income getting to you on a W-2, and you're moving into a 1099. Wait about 3 years to prove to yourself and to the lender, number one, that you can do real estate and that you can make a good living at it. And they're going to average out what your expenses are and what your earnings are. And then that's the amount of home that you can buy. Okay, I'm going to move through the rest of these quickly because we've been on about 36 minutes. Don't consolidate debt to 1 or 2 credit cards. Lender. Do pay off collections and judgments and tax liens reported in the past year. Now, when they say pay that off, we need to have a talk, and I can talk to you a little bit about that. In negotiation, because, you know, when something stays on your credit for a certain period of time, then sometimes it's sold off to another company, and they will sometimes take 30 cents on the dollar. You never know. All right. Don't make any large purchases. I'm going to say that about 3 or 4 times. People tend to think, now that I'm approved, now that I'm qualified, now that I'm not using all that I'm qualified, I'm not buying up to my max, I can go out and buy some furniture. And especially if I don't have to make a payment until next year. 90 days, same as cash. Well, guess what? That, when it comes to your income to debt ratio, it's going to kick in. It's going to be shown on your credit report. It may lower your, more than certainly it will lower your income to debt ratio, because they're going to look at what those payments will be when they do come due. And another one that's not on this list that is really important now is student loans. And that's a conversation, and some lenders are better at working with you on your student loans. and how much you have to pay per month, okay? And the minimum that it has to be taken into consideration. Don't make large purchases. Do stay current on all existing accounts. All existing accounts. Don't stop paying your rent to save for your earnest money and your home inspection, because your wrong will be found out. Because when that letter comes back from the landlord saying that you're more than 30 days late, you're going to have to start over 12 months of no late payments. All right? Don't make any large deposits into your accounts. Have a paper trail. Have a paper trail. Number 10, do call. Paying me, I'm reading this list from a lender. Do call your lender. I'm here to help you through the process. Okay, so those are all your people that are involved. Now, the last 5 minutes, unless I have any questions, and thank you all for staying on and getting this valuable information, and I want you to share it with. I want each one of you on here to share this recording and help somebody. The Key Club. I invented the Key Club. It's an exclusive Nancy Johnson Key Club, because so many people were falling by the wayside. When they were told that their credit wasn't up to par, they got discouraged. They started doing things that took them down a dark road or didn't put them on the right path to homeownership. And I said, you know what? There's some people that are falling through the cracks. And I'm just going to take a little bit more time, structure something that can help the average person, because the average person does not have perfect credit. Okay? So here are 12 steps that I use in the Key Club that I have found to be very instrumental in people getting their keys. Again, I've been involved in more than 2,300 transactions. And so I know a little something about real estate. And the 12 steps are, and I want you to go to my website. I'm going to go over them quickly. Go to my website, and it says the keys to the 12 steps to the Key Club. So and that you heard that before. I have experience. I am credible. Integrity, my integrity is not up for sale. I can get a deal, I can lose a deal, but when I lose my integrity, I'm done business. So it's not up for compromise. I'm going to tell you like it is. You may not like it all the time, but I think you'll thank me for it later, because I'm going to deal with you with clean hands and a pure heart. I'm going to tell you the facts, but I'm going to help you. And that's why I invented the Key Club. Select the right realtor. That's critical. I will explain to you why owning versus renting is a smart move. There are benefits to home ownership. I will help you understand the home buying process and the importance of getting pre-approved. We'll go deeper. Number 4, it's a team sport. When you hire me as your exclusive buyer's agent, then we have a bond. I have a part to do and you have a part to do. And we will go over that exclusive, and I will set it up for a year. And if it doesn't take you a year, then once you get your keys, you'll be out of the Key Club, kind of temporarily, and then you'll be on to another list. Number 5, credit is very important in getting your house in order. So know what the lenders are looking for. It's my job to teach you that. Number 6, 10 major keys. Club, we will have nights when we'll have calls that will be all of that with you. Understanding the pieces to the puzzle. I will tell you what a home inspector does. I will tell you how much it will cost. I will tell you how we will use that home inspection to your advantage and negotiate to do most of the repairs. Number 9, I will call contact with you and we will schedule a workshop. If we're still dealing with C-19, it'll be virtual like this. If not, we will meet at the office and do it as a team. You will join, I will join. Now, this is something that I don't know anybody else is doing. I will get a group of people who are Key Club members. I have done it in the past, and I can show you pictures of 6 or 7 people that we met on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon. We looked at 3 or 4 properties. No, they weren't. That's the only time when I will show you properties when you are approved yet, because I want to keep you encouraged. I want to keep you inspired. I want to keep you at the top of the list so that when your turn comes to buy, you will know just what to do. So we will meet, and for an hour or hour and a half, we'll ride through different communities. We will go inside different properties. I will tell you as a buyer what you need to do to be an informed buyer. Because you know what? Once you close on the deal, we say buyer beware. Because once you sign, whatever problem that home has, they're yours. They're not mine. They're not the lenders. They're yours. So I want to tell you the importance of a home inspection, but more importantly, how we handle home inspections. And that's part of the Key Club. I will actually go over one night with you or one session with you, a home inspection report, and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I will tell you why you should buy a warranty and what your warranty covers and what it doesn't cover. Now, when you're not ready to buy, when they're not going to collect a commission in the next 30 to 45 days, it may be a year, it may be 2 years. Okay. Number 11, receive help, the help you need. As part of the Key Club, you will receive the help you need to get a workable credit score. Because I promise you, unless you're paying cash, the first hurdle you will have to cross is the credit hurdle and the income hurdle and the debt to income hurdle and the rental reference hurdle. Because if you're not paying your rent on time and or annually, who's going to trust you to a 30-year mortgage? Doesn't make good business sense, does it? All right. And number 12, you will get the help you need to help you get your keys. That's right, to help you get your keys. And this was a gift that was given to me. I'm a part of the Pink Diamond Millionaire Club. And this is a keychain that I'm going to use to make sure that each and every person that is a part of the Key Club, I'm going to first put their key on here, take it off, and hand it to them to show our commitment. So thank you so much for getting on tonight. And I hope